Spooky Lou, another wonderful WrestleRoni from me and for you. You see the man right here, WWF Tag Team Champion, WCW Hardcore Champion, Ring of Honor World Champion, TNA Digital Champion, NWA Tag Team Champion, GCW Extreme Champion, Men's MVP in the 2023 AAA World Cup. PCO is on WrestleRoni. How we feeling, PCO?
Feeling great. What about you, Spooky Lou?
I got the chills. I'll be straight up. I don't care who knows it. I got goosebumps on goosebumps. You're my dude, man. So, thank you.
Yeah, you forgot a bunch of titles, but that's all right because I won so many. Uh, One of the most important that I still have to this day is the international heavyweight title, the championship that I won in Montreal against AJ Francis. So I'm going to defend this title all over the world, and also I'm going to defend it in Melbourne in 2 weeks from now. So this is pretty cool. This one I really have it at heart because it a lot of other French Canadian has it, but not only that had it, and not only that, but Lutez, Billy Robinson, Doctor Death, not the Doctor Death, but David Schultz, one of the Bloodline guy, Samu,
Okay.
the original one, um, Aku, King Tonga.
Wow.
So yeah, and I said it, Rick Martel, Abdullah the Butcher, Mad Dog Vachon, and Bravo. So this title's got a hell of a lineage, and I still have it in my possession. So that means a lot to me. Also, ROH, I won the trio titles, the tag team titles,
Mm-hmm.
the tag titles with NWA, and also the Crockett Cup. I might forgot a few, but that's the major ones.
Yeah, and there were so many in ROH. If I put them all on there, we'd still be
Yeah,
introducing you. I think.
yeah.
We can do that on the next round. How about that? We'll just name
Yeah,
all the
that's cool.
title.
That's cool. They're pretty much all there, but not to brag about, but just it's nice. And also, you've seen this week. I really like that because I never saw that match until yesterday or 2 days ago.
Mm-hmm.
WWE just put like some dark matches
Mm-hmm.
up, and they put me on the thumbnail on their X page and different other pages with Dr. Det, Steve Williams, and it was a cool match, an 8 minute, very, very cool match that I never saw. But I swear to God, after that match, I thought I was going to be hired again by WWE.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how they could have passed on that, but you know, in wrestling, it's not always how good you are. It's just to be. It's the timing. It's to be at the right place at the right time.
There you go.
So that wasn't my time, but it certainly is a great souvenir for those who haven't seen it.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, for the last week, or I don't know, since it's been put on X, everybody tags me with WWE, PCO Gunter, PCO, whatever. They all, everybody has their dream match for PCO and WWE,
Mm-hmm.
and they've been tagging WWE and they've been tagging Triple H and everybody. So it's kind of cool,
Very cool.
Gunter, whatever.
Uh-huh. I was going to bring that up because that's when you hit my radar again. I said, where'd my guy go? I followed your career forever, and now you're fighting Walter. Back then it was Walter at Janela's
Yeah,
Spring Break.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Ooh.
That was
Take
great.
me back to that. I mean, you're as far as me at least, you're out of the public eye as far as the big feds for a minute, and you hit the ground running after spring break. I mean, you were really off to the races after that.
Oh,
Don't get
that
it
was
twisted,
great.
you were still working, but this really sent you into another level, I think.
Yeah, yeah, it did. It did. I mean, that's how I had all those talk with AEW, but When I had those talks with AEW, I was already almost already under contract. I gave my words to the president of ROH back then, Joe Koff,
Mm-hmm.
passed not too long ago, and Greg Gilgan, the general manager, and Delirious, the head of bookings, the head of talent. And I gave them my word when I left because they flew me into Baltimore, showed me St. Clair, showed me the dojo, ROH, how big it was and everything. It was very impressive. I was impressed by their move to have me spend a whole day there and just explain everything to me.
Mm-hmm.
And when I got hit up by AEW, I shook hands with them and I gave them my word. So it's I couldn't go back on my word. So that's why timing. Every time that AEW hit me up, I was either under contract with ROH or I was under contract with TNA.
Mm.
So I couldn't really move.
Yeah.
So it was tough because I would have loved to get a chance to have some dream matches that they offered me in AEW. So
You're still going strong, man. I mean, you're
yeah,
better than
yeah,
ever in
yeah,
my
yeah,
book,
yeah,
so never say never, you know?
yeah, yeah,
Take
yeah.
me
We're
back to
still
ROH because we were talking about ROH. Talk about bittersweet. You become the world champion, but now we got a pandemic. So,
yeah.
how's that work?
That was tough. The pandemic was really tough, and I think it was tough on the business too. So they had to close down after that, and then that's how I ended up with TNA.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, those that year was just those guys were great. ROH was great. They never missed a beat on the payoff, and God knows that everybody was making a lot of money at that time because if you remember in 2018, AEW was signing almost everybody on the street and WWE was doing the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
So what happened when everybody's signing all the talents? The pay up raises.
Okay.
And everybody that wanted to have talent, they had to pay up because all the companies wanted to sign everybody. So it's just the demand and the value and the demand and so it was good for the boys. It was probably the golden era of the boys as far as making money.
It really worked out nicely. I'm so glad they took care of you guys, even when they weren't selling tickets. You guys are doing
Yeah, they
empty.
did. They did. They were a real proud company, and they did things in a very professional way.
Okay, let's flip the coin. Where to start
Yeah.
going wrong in TNA? You think?
I don't know.
No.
I don't know what was wrong with TNA, but I could tell something was wrong when I was like doing like double duties
Okay.
because I promised them I was gonna sell out the Verdun Auditorium, which is like they never had done anything like that. I think their biggest house was Chicago in 2019.
Mm-hmm.
It might have hit like 3,000. I'm not sure if they did
Mm-hmm.
people. And other than that was 2012 with Hogan or 2013, which was like
Years.
5 or 6,000 people.
Okay.
And then I promised them I was gonna sell out 4,000. The seats available were 4,000. We could have put 5,000, but they put such a big screen and a huge stage. It looked good. As far
Look
as
good.
production,
Oh
it
yeah.
was great.
Mm-hmm.
But sometime on Raw after a big WrestleMania or something,
Mm-hmm.
they go with a smaller production. It looks as good, but they have more seats.
Right.
Uh, but when I told them I was going to sell out, I don't want to be. It's not like oh, this guy's not humble or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I did not sell out by putting my name on the marquee. The way I sold out, it's a bunch of things. First of all, I use also all the history of TNA. You know, since Hogan and the Road Warriors, and I
Mm-hmm.
use that.
Mm-hmm.
I use their production, showed clips, so it looks professional.
Yeah.
But they never had like a big crowd, like you know, like the. I think the biggest crowds until then was like might have been 800 people or something like that
Right.
until Montreal.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like there in an office with the new management and telling them, no, we're gonna sell out 4,000 people, and they say, yeah, you should. They look at me like I was an alien, basically. You know,
Okay. Mm-hmm.
unbelievable. But I've been doing shows for WWE, WWF, WCW, and not just doing them, but doing the promotional work. I go into radio to radio, TV to TV, newspaper to newspaper,
Mm-hmm.
not just downtown Montreal, but in region too.
Mm-hmm.
The province of Quebec, it's like probably 10 hours east west, 10 hours north south,
Okay.
at least. It's huge.
Yeah, it's huge.
So I did a lot of places that people won't go usually, but people from region, when you go see them and you spend time with them, and they promise that they will be there for you,
Mm-hmm.
if they bought tickets, they will come,
Okay.
and that's what happened. So I was sleeping like 2 3 hours a day seriously for 2 months. I was just to PR.
Mm-hmm.
I was everywhere, and with all my connections, they got me on the return. They got me on the morning show. They got me on different radio shows, different TV stations in regions, in downtown Montreal. I went. I did the opening of the Alouette, the football game. Like the face-off of the basketball game, the soccer game. I was all over the place. So everybody, no, they kept seeing me. So um, and they started buying tickets. We had 800 tickets sold on the first day.
Nice.
That was more than they would sell for just a full three 2 3 months of
Exactly.
public relations, just ticket sales
Mm-hmm.
itself, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So and then they came with that song where they said, well, usually when we have a huge start, it flattens out. If we look at our matrix, it's impossible to put that many people. We've never done this before.
Mm-hmm.
All those lines, they hit me up with all those negative lines, day in and day out. Or after it was, well, what if we do good on Saturday, but we don't have any people on Sunday? And I said, who cares? Like the last time I was at Soundstage in Memphis, Tennessee, at the Elvis place,
Mm-hmm.
um, we had 3 rows of chairs around the ring. Nobody cared.
Right.
Now, you think if you have like 1,200 to 1,500 people, it's gonna look bad.
Yeah.
What's wrong with you
What's the
guys?
difference now, huh?
What's wrong? You know, like we had 3 rows of chairs. We ran 2 days on a full shows, and now like if you have 1,500, which is still gonna be your best house ever after the pay-per-view,
Mm-hmm.
it's not enough for you. You know, so uh, a lot of red flags. I was really disappointed by that company. Thinking small. Uh, like it's like I told them, man, if you think the same way over and over and over, how can you expect different results? You always say, "Wow, we never done this before." Yeah, but you won't do it if you think you can do it. So
Right.
I'm telling you, we have 800 tickets sold, and it's not going to go down. It's going to go up, and it was getting up, getting up, getting up. And I said, now you have to open up from 2,000 seats to 4,000 seats because there's you feel the excitement, you feel the energy. I am on the ground every day, and people are excited about this thing.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's time to do it because we have it's like a wave, and it's going up and up and up and up. And if you wait 2 or 3 weeks, it's gonna go down,
Right.
and we have to recrank that wave again.
Believe me.
And sure enough, we're gonna wait another week. We're gonna wait another week,
Mm-hmm.
and it could have sold out like a month in advance or 3 weeks in advance. But they waited so long, so they killed the wave. I would say my wave, but
The
it
way.
was me and a team of people here in Montreal, not just me. Carla Duke, the Duke family got involved very, very intensively. We're all good friends, and Joe LeDuc was a household name here, and Paul LeDuc the same, and
Oh, for sure.
their son Carl, and everybody jumped in, and their connections and things like that. So I I didn't do that on my. Nobody can do something on their own. You need a team,
Yep.
and I have to give credit to that team. It was a team from here, from Montreal.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I took my own bonus. They gave me a little bonus, not a big bonus. They gave me a little bonus
Okay.
that was at least able to pay everybody that helped me out.
Good on
That
you.
they were doing it in good faith,
Mm-hmm.
but I was able to pay them. Maybe not what they should have received,
Mm-hmm.
but at least they got a fairly good chunk, of money for the work they put in, though, because some of the like Cara Duke was putting like, I mean, he was almost missing his real work, shoot work to with Hair Canada
Oh wow.
to to reach out to people and to go meet group of people. And I had my burger done, the PCO burger. We
Okay.
with a chain of restaurants and things like that.
Nice.
So it was big. It became super big. Then they were making the PCO drinks, some bars and things like that. So it became so super big. And then at the end they're like, okay, PCO, don't sell any more tickets. Now we're oversold. Now it's a question of uh, emergency crowd. We don't want the firemen to stop the show.
Okay.
So they went from being super slow
Mm-hmm.
to at the end, no, 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 put the brakes. And I think we could have sold more tickets when they said put the brakes. So they were either too worried too much about too many people, or not worried, like worried because it was not enough, you know, if they compare with their Matrix. Anyways, it was just that it's a book. Just the Montreal show, I can write a book on it.
Another
I'm just
Montreal
giving you
screw
the
job.
I'm just giving you the big lines here, but
Right.
it was a struggle. It was a struggle just to run that show.
And my thing is, I've followed your career. This isn't just something you did for this show. When you were with Ring of Honor, I saw you doing numerous media appearances. Like, you're the total package. You know what you're doing in the ring, can get put on a hell of a show, and you're going to go out and work to promote a show. So why not keep a guy like you happy?
Yeah. Well, I also offered to do the same thing with other city and everything,
Mm-hmm.
and then I felt, that's me feeling that, but then I felt Okay, now they want to prove to me that they can do better than me
Okay.
on their own without me.
Okay.
So it was not a team thing, Like I thought everything I did for TNA was making TNA look good, and they said so,
Mm-hmm.
and they thought so. But in reality, every time that one guy in the management was inviting me into a meeting for different reason, for my knowledge,
Mm-hmm.
then the president would kick me out of the meeting after 10 minutes. Okay, Carl, we don't need you anymore. And and this the same guy, the president, came up to me and said at the show in Montreal, we were alone. He gave me the bonus. He said, "How can we improve our product? How can we do that like show after show?"
Mm-hmm.
And I said, "Well, we should have a talk about it. I can bring some ideas. I got some good ideas."
Right.
And never reached out to me. It was just to look good, I guess. Just so maybe it was that little of ego competition between, okay, we can, you know
Sounds like it.
why can he do that, we cannot do that with all our superstars.
Uh, and
Because I have to say I sold more shirts that night than any other TNA
hell
superstars.
yeah, good.
They cut me off on the promo on the GCW,
I know
but
that when
that, that
GCW's
that's
cutting you off, what are you doing, man? Come on.
that's what I wanted to say. I sold more shirts that night in one night than any other TNA superstars on the roster.
What's the atmosphere at the ballroom? Because it was a big show anyway. Did you get any? Were people looking at you when you came through that curtain? What was it like backstage when you came back?
Uh, a lot of the people that I know, like, we hugged like we usually do, and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I think they just thought I just picked up another indie booking because we're allowed with TNA,
Right.
but I was not taking that many, very few. I would take like Brian Myers, Rhino, like my friends,
Mm-hmm.
people that I know very well. But I was not all over the country because I wanted to always be ready for TNA.
Gotcha.
So that's why I was not taking that many bookings. Like, for me, money is very important, but that's not the only thing. Like, I like to be prepared for the company that I work for. I don't want to get injured on another show and then I miss and things like that. I'm very professional about what I do, and I was very professional with TNA. Well, uh, and I think the fact that I was maybe mistreated or they weren't really honest with me, which that's the most important thing that you appreciate is honesty.
Right.
They came up to me, they said they wanted to resign me, and then every time like they changed the deal and they said, oh, yeah, we want to keep you and this and that, and then I got concussed, and then after the concussion they said, oh, we're not gonna resign you for whatever reason. So if I look at it, it's not fair, but life, it's never fair. So I'm used to it. Like you saw, like I was talking about my match in 2003 with WWE.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at it today and say, how, first of all, I should never had tryout match after being a three times WWE Tag Team Champions
Agreed.
for almost a year straight.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost ridiculous to ask me to have a tryout match.
You had a program with Bret Hart.
Yeah, it's so ridiculous. It's so ridiculous.
You talk about drawing crowds. You drew a crowd with Diesel back in the day in Canada, and that was
Well,
a whole debacle.
yeah, but that the crowd. I was not involved in the promotional stuff because uh, a girl here, Joanne, was involved. She got paid to do the public relation and all the media.
Right.
So I didn't want to step over her toes. So I let her do the things. When she asked me to be somewhere, I did it. But I mean, I would have done probably more on my own. But I don't want to. She did a good job, but it should have been full for Nash and me. It should have been packed.
Right.
But Quebec City was packed because we did a few nights.
Mm-hmm.
We did Montreal for the Bell Center, and then we did the Coliseum in Quebec. But the Coliseum was full,
Okay.
and but Montreal should have been full. But also, I had main evented before that on top of the roster, probably one of the biggest house show in the history of the WWE, where you had over like 10 matches on the card.
Okay.
You had like every talent was there. You had like a match, let's say, Shawn Michaels against Razor Ramon, uh, Undertaker against Yokozuna,
Mm-hmm.
the Smoking Guns against, I don't know, say the Bushwhacker,
Body
Adam
Donis.
Bomb.
Right.
Yeah, Adam Bomb. Uh, who else? Like Well Done,
Well done. Hey, they were
uh,
good.
Quang,
Quang. I thought Quang.
or Savio Vega,
Mm-hmm.
uh, Jarrett, Shamrock. Uh, I don't know. I'm trying to find a name. Davy Boy Smith, Jim Neidhart, Owen Hart. Like the whole roster was on the card. Okay,
Okay.
so you put like 10 matches with that, and the main event of that was me against Jacques for his retirement match.
Oh, okay.
And by far, the main event blew every other matches. And I'm a big fan of Sean and Brett,
Right.
but that night they couldn't compete with us. They they could not compete with the heat that was installed in that building, and it was sold out. 18,500 people.
Wow.
Me and Jog on top of the bill.
For 1994, that's insane.
Yeah, 21st of October, 1994. Yeah.
And I'm glad you brought that up because that's when you got my attention. And it was because of your move set. You wrestled so uniquely. You weren't like these other guys. So was that by design? Is that something you were doing to try to stick out, or is it just something that happened?
It was my style. I've wrestled pretty much all over the world before that. I've spent times in Europe, Germany, England, Puerto Rico, the Maritimes, sometimes in Calgary, and sometimes in Montreal, South Africa, and I picked up things that in my mind stood up. Like I saw guys doing things, and then that stood up, and that I realized that goes with my style. But I was always like a daredevil, always.
It
So
shows.
so that's why some move I really like. It's part of me. I'm a mix of I'm gonna say different names, and when you put all of them together, then you'll understand. I'm a mix of maybe Taker's thing, but that's the soft side. But Mankind and Jeff Hardy,
I like it.
maybe.
Makes sense
Yeah,
to me.
yeah,
Or they all have parts of you. How about that?
yeah. Whatever.
You were
Yeah,
around before a lot of them, so.
yeah. Or in the same time, because Sting's older than me. Yeah.
Well, maybe you can help me out a little, PCO, because there's a lot of younger workers in the independent scene that watch my podcast. Tell me how important it is to travel to all these places. I mean, you kind of really did it up. I'm just trying to get guys to hit other states. But tell me how important it is to hit these different promotions, see what other guys are doing, see what other promotions are doing, how they're run. How important is that to a wrestler?
Super important. Every wrestler that asks me for an advice, I always tell them it's not just what happened in the ring. It's everything that you do outside the ring. Meaning that for me, getting out of my comfort zone, getting out like it's easy to be a wrestler if every night you go back to your parents' house, you see your girlfriend every day,
Mm-hmm.
you see your friends every day, you play hockey with your friends every night or every weekend.
Right.
You wrestle 3 4 times a week. You think you travel because you hit like 4 hours to go and 4 hours to come back.
Mm-hmm.
Just just try to get on the road and then no, be cramped up in a station wagon. It's 6 to 8 big guys,
Mm-hmm.
and you don't have room to breathe almost, and you have the merch on your neck,
Right.
because the trunk is full of merch, and you have the promoter in the front, and you work every day like that, and you sleep in an apartment where your fridge is your window because it's kind of cool,
Oh, okay.
and you don't have heat, and that's how it was. You're with a friend and a partner because I was a tag team,
Mm-hmm.
and that's how we did it. And we walk every day to the train station and meet the cars at the meeting place and things like that. So even coming to we came to Heathrow, and then we had to find our way out all the way to Liverpool with the train, the bus, and everything. Like, promoter didn't care.
Right.
He
You're
was
on your own.
expecting us to be there a certain day at a certain time.
Mm-hmm.
We had to figure out everything else out.
It'll make a man of you, huh?
Yeah, and that's how you learn on the road. And and the more place you go and the more place you do, your name sticks around and it sticks around, and then what you're able to do is just email those posters where you're a headline, and then transfer it to another territory, to another promoter, so he wants you, and he's got someone quitting or someone hurt, injured, or it's all about timing. So you have to travel, you have to get out of your comfort zone, and you have to hit as many territory as possible.
Okay. You mentioned a good word in there. You said email. You've been around for a while.
Well,
Come
before it was packages.
That's what I was going to ask you. How much
Yeah.
easier is it now? I'm not going to say it's easy because we know it's not easy, but I think the internet has helped things. Social media gets your name out. You can hit up a promoter. I hit you up through social media. I got the connection right here through social media. So my guess my question is, back then you had to get a guy's number through a guy. So tell the boys how things have changed over the years as far as social media and the
Oh man,
internet.
when I started, like I don't know, I gathered a list of all the indie promotions still existing in that time.
Okay.
Puerto Rico, USWA, CWA, and Germany for auto vans, which was the big one.
Mm-hmm.
Rene Larson and Hamburg, Germany. Chris Jericho went there for 2 years. I was there for 2 years too. And then I got picked up by the big one, which was the Auto Vans. They came to see me at Renee's show, and they say, after Hamburg, can you come to Hanover? So I took the train to Hanover. They signed me to a 6 month contract, which money was great. Money was awesome, but you live in a caravan.
Oh, okay.
And all the guys that had been with CWA, Catch Wrestling Association, for 6, 8, 10 years, 15 years, they had the long caravan with the water, the TV,
Okay.
maybe 100 channels and things like that.
Mhm.
Us, we had the small caravan, no TV, nothing,
Right.
nothing at
A
all.
deck of
Just two
cards.
two beds. That's it. A deck of cards. Yeah. So so that was fine too. And I remember the last day of Bremen, which was like after Hanover. And because when I say one city, it's like if I did Hamburg, I did Hamburg for 40 days
Oh
at the
wow.
same building.
Okay.
Same building.
Huh.
And then I'd move to Hanover for the other promotion that was for 2 months, 60 days.
Mhm.
So you go to your caravan, you shower, you sleep, you go to the gym during the day, you show up at the building at whatever, 5, 6. The show starts at 8.
Mhm.
And every day the same day. Sunday's kind of low, Monday's low, Tuesday, ladies' night is packed.
Oh yeah.
Wednesday start to pick up. Thursday kind of packed. Friday we run the big angle for Saturday. Friday, Saturday's packed.
It's insane.
And Sunday started to go a bit slow. Monday a bit slow. Tuesday, ladies' night started to pick up again. So, but it was like 4,000 people almost every night.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. People tell me about oversaturation. That sounds like the max, but you guys are drawing 4,000. How? How?
I mean, Friday, Saturday we had 4,000 people for sure.
That's insane. I mean, even doing weekly 4,000. That blows my mind.
Oh, weekly we did more than that.
Right.
Almost 10,000 people weekly. Well, we had probably 1,000 on the lowest day. We had 1,000 people.
Really. And you
Yeah,
and you.
Monday, Sunday, and Monday was tough, but then Tuesday, it's well, ladies' night's almost a 2-for-1, but it was packed. And then Wednesday started to pack up again. Thursday packed. Friday packed. Saturday packed. Sunday slow. Monday slow. That's it.
So you're running shows daily.
And then the last show of the whole tour, because you do like two cities in Austria, Graz and Vienna, like 30 days, 30 days. Then you do 60 days in Germany for Hanover. Then you do 30 days in Bremen, and you finish like December 30th. And the last show is at the Stadthalle, which is a stadium, and you have 15,000 people there.
Wow. Heck yeah. Good on
But
you.
they would bring like when I was there, they brought Road Warrior Animal
Okay.
against the champ over there, who was with WWE. I don't know if you remember those guys, Bull Buchanan and Luke Poirier.
Okay. I remember Bull.
So Luke was the champion. They advertised him from France.
Mm-hmm.
His name was Rambo, and he was over. Like he was super over. And the other champ, he was the super heavyweight champ, and the middle class, middle whatever light heavyweight champ was Finley.
Okay. Everybody.
And he would like for him they would bring like Eddie Gilbert. They're always bringing American for those the champs. Always a good name,
How
always
cool.
someone good. Also, they brought Snuka the year I was there too for another match. So,
Okay. So I know he brought some people in, no doubt in my mind.
yeah.
All right. This one is on. This one's for me. This is a personal one because I got to know. I was at Pittsburgh TNN tapings. Out of nowhere, PCO comes out and attacks the referee. What can you tell me about your brief stint in ECW?
Well, I think to me it was towards the end, and I don't know how long after I was there that they closed down. Uh,
Within a year.
Within a year for sure, and
Mm-hmm.
also I was there like for 3 weeks, and I had to go on the tour in Saudi Arabia
Okay.
with Yokozuna, Tatanka, myself, probably 10, 12 other guys. It was the first show in Saudi Arabia, wrestling show in 57 years.
Really.
Yeah, and
Wow.
now WW goes there every year.
Mm-hmm.
So, and we did good. We had like I think 6, 7,000 people, and ladies weren't invited at all
Yeah. Back then.
in the building.
Uh,
In the
oh
building,
wow.
so it was only for men. And we got invited by a sheikh, like a sheik,
Okay.
and we went to his palace and we ate there, and we all got an envelope of about like $1,500 just to go there and eat.
There you go.
And I felt like it was pretty serious over there. Like when we got in the bus, uh, the Saudi Arabians, they weren't really joking around.
Okay.
They had their guns with them. They they were pretty serious.
Yeah.
And like guys like Yoko, they like to have fun and make jokes and things like that. But
Hmm.
they wouldn't laugh with us. They were like just on their own mindset, I guess. That's how I perceived everything.
Right.
So it was pretty uptight, and you see the five prayers per day, because there's a speaker on every electric pole there, so speakers all over the streets,
Oh wow.
and you hear them blah 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 blah, and everybody goes on their knees and facing the sun, and yeah, five times a day you see the prayers, people stopping, putting their little carpet on the street and on the side of the street and just praying. So that was pretty. That's a different sight.
It sounds like it. It sounds like you've got to experience the different cultures of the world. I mean, you've lived the
Yeah,
life of a wrestler.
Japan, Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, Lebanon, like pretty much all over the world. Like South Africa on Table Mountain, even South Africa, like wrestling, it was real for them in 1991. Like we were part of two riots. We almost got killed as the heels.
Oh, you feel
So,
free to elaborate all you want. We love a good riot story on the Roni.
well, we did the Ric Flair. They did that in AEW not too long ago when you okay handcuff the two baby face,
Okay.
and you put the plastic bag over his head and you suffocate him,
Mm-hmm.
and so. But South Africans, they started to go crazy, really, really crazy. Like they wanted to pull scissors on us and wanted to stab us and things like that. And I was telling my partner, we can't show fear, we can't show fear. So every time somebody was trying to get in the ring, we just punched him back down. But when you have like 7,000 people, because it was sold out there, and we're the main event, and we're trying to build an angle, so we're coming back to defend our titles,
Mm-hmm.
and we want to sell out again. So uh, eventually, someone had to find the keys and let the baby face go because it's getting crazy. But what happened? It's like I hit one of the baby face. They had like patio chairs, on the floor,
Okay.
and I decided to hit him with a chair, but I let the chair fly.
Okay.
So so I hit him on the forehead, and the chair flew on the crowd.
Uh-oh. Okay.
You know what happened after that?
Good. You let me know.
The ring got filled up with chairs.
Oh, they threw him back, huh?
Oh yeah, we had to get out of there. We're getting hit with all kind of chairs, and they would take the film out of the camera and whip us with the edge of the film.
That's creative. I'll give him that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Wow.
So we went from show no fear to hurry up and get back in the locker room.
The hell with it. I'm tired of
What
getting
a
hit with
hell of a
film.
riot! I got it on tape somewhere.
Oh, how awesome, man. Well, you've busted your ass for the business. You've gotten a little bit back. I don't think as much as you've put in, but you're still reaping the rewards. I was just watching a documentary. You said you think it was 8 years ago, and you said you had 6 years left. We're still going strong. Where do we
Yeah.
go from here? What are we going to do?
Well, there's two goals I want to achieve, and I'm not going to mention it because when you mention your goal, like you look like a dreamer, you look like you're maybe disconnected with the reality, and you get the negativity from the people.
Guarantee it.
So I'll keep it for myself. I got two goals, very pretty big goals that I want to achieve before I retire. I'm not doing it because I need to do it for the money or because I need the money or because of this. I put all the efforts because I want to show the universe that whatever it takes, I'll do it. So if it means whatever it is, I'm going to do it. And because I feel like every time I've done that in my life, as long as you're ready to show the universe that nothing can stop you, eventually it feels like the sky open up, and you'll get rewarded. And since those goals aren't that small, it takes a lot of you got to prove yourself to life like more than once, and that's how I look at life. I've read a lot of books from Pablo Coelho.
Okay.
I don't know if you know him. He's a big hodder, like very known hodder. And anyways, you can look up for his name.
I will.
Uh, I've read the I don't know what it's called, but anyways, his journeys go into the pyramid of Egypt.
Okay.
So that's the book I'm talking about. I can't remember the title, but and when I got called up to wrestle in Egypt,
Mm-hmm.
I went to the pyramid.
Nice.
I took a picture where Obama was with this group of people in front of the pyramid. There's a special spot where you get a nice image,
Mm-hmm.
and it made me feel like that book, and it made me feel like that might be a sign that I'm on the right path. But sometimes the path is not easy. You gotta get out of the path and make your own trail.
You got to do it. You got to. You talk. You talk about inspiring PCO. You've been my white whale for probably 3 or 4 years since I started this podcast. My wife says you're my white whale, and
Okay.
I'm sorry if I've pestered you, but it's something I've wanted, and I knew the chance was there. Especially today, I've been a pain in your ass, and I apologize, but
No,
here
you've
we
been
are.
nothing but good to me.
Well,
You've been and you've been so good to me. And I promised you I was going to do your podcast because you've been always there for me, and I keep my promises.
proof's in the pudding right here.
Yeah.
I've had so many lesser people that's not a hundredth of a PCO. Just tell me they'll do it, and I never hear from them again. And so that's why I just had to keep on you and keep on you. I said, man, there's a chance here. I can't let this go. And you talk
You
about
know
make.
what? Do you know for 3 years I couldn't do the podcast I wanted to do for 3 years because I had to go to the PR guy
I
at
know.
TNA,
Yeah.
and he's not easy to deal with, for those things.
Mm-hmm.
And he can be but he's a pain in the butt, and everybody tells me he's hard to deal with. Nobody really likes him because I don't think I mean, I don't want any beef with him, but in Montreal, like when we had things that we wanted to have, and then people said yes, and then when you promise something after to those people, and you don't even call them back,
Yeah.
it's like, do you think you're never gonna come back in Montreal in your life?
Wow.
It's just that you don't care for people that much.
Yeah.
Even as human beings, you promise them something.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you just call them back and tell them I can't do what I promised you, or it's not in my power anymore, but at least just say something.
Thank you.
Just don't leave it up in the air.
Thank you. Because that's something I say all the time. I get that wrestling's a different type of culture and a different type of business built on respect, and maybe you have to shit on this guy or whatever. At the end of the day, you can still treat people like human beings. Especially
Yeah, that's it.
if PCO's on here saying it, I think independent promoters could at least give it a shot. Give it a shot and see what happens.
Yeah.
So, heck yeah. Man, I appreciate the hell out of you joining me. We're in the final 10 minutes of the podcast. You give I've stole way more time than you told me I was
Oh,
allowed.
that's
So.
all right, man. I feel great. I feel good. I like the chat. I feel like we're telling like good stuff for the kids who wants to make it, for anybody who faces like adversity in their career. I mean, that's the wrestling business. The wrestling business is a roller coaster business. I'm not talking about cycling the business. Oh, 10 years is good, 10 years is bad, or whatever. I'm just saying the day to day business. Because let's say you main event. Let's say when I did main evented like the biggest show at WWF in Montreal, or even the Verdun Auditorium, like when I won both titles, the digital and the international.
Mm,
The next day, everything is boring because you went so high. You're so high. You can't surpass that in your mind. Nothing can surpass that. And you have you have your family and you have your problems and you have the someone calling you for whatever your water might have gone off or it's not working. You got to call a plumber, and the reality of life.
mm-hmm.
Whether you're a superstar, you're Cody Rhodes, or you're not, it's the same. We all have to live, and we all have wives and girlfriends, or we don't, or we have kids, and you know
Mm-hmm.
if your kids doesn't have good grade, and they don't care if you main evented the Madison Square Garden the night before. They want to talk to you.
Mine don't care that I'm talking to PCO right now. I tell you that. I'm like, I'm talking to PCO. Whatever. Get in there and do your stupid podcast, Dad. So, hey, but you're so right because I've been in the business for a few years, and it's peaks and valleys. We call it the Sunday blues. You have this great time on Saturday night, you're home on Sunday, and I really think it's a chemical thing too. You used up all your good chemicals, so now you're home, now you're blah, and you're gonna have your bad days along with your good in wrestling and out.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh yeah. On top of that, you might have like a bad performance one night, and then you have to be strong mentally, come back from it, and just say, okay, I'm gonna prepare better, and I'm gonna be ready for the next one, and I won't do that, or I won't try that, or sometimes you try something and it's not work. And sometimes you try something on a smaller show that works well. You try it on a bigger show, it doesn't work as well as it did on a small show.
hmm.
So you want to run you want to road your shit, but it's not always working like that. Sometimes it's just different. So it's just part of the whole process, of pro wrestling, which is super interesting because that's probably you know uh, a career where you need to be super strong mentally. Everything happens. Most of the things are mental.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, because like let's say you have a hell of a match for a tryout, they don't pick you up. You wonder why. Uh, you've done everything that you're supposed to do. They promise you they're gonna resign you. You don't get re-signed. So it's all part of, okay, how can you get up from it?
Yeah.
How can you roll your sleeve and you show that you're gonna warrior to it, you're gonna monster to it, you're gonna just just go through it, and nothing's gonna affect you. They do affect you, but for a couple days, and then after you're back on track.
Smash their title and tell them to kiss your ass.
It feels good for a moment.
I'm sure. Oh, you can see it. You can see it in your face whenever you watch that clip. I know that
No,
felt good.
no. It felt good. It felt good. Uh, but I cannot just stay there with that moment. I have to move on.
It's a launching pad, man. It keeps you going.
Yes.
You got to look out
Yeah.
for you at that point. I don't think I haven't read anything where anybody's down on you or mad at you. You know, I mean, I'm not reading TNA memos from the inside, but as far as news articles and fans, everybody's with you, man.
Yeah, and also it's not like I play the victim. Like, oh, he did that to me. It's not fair, and I don't like it, and that's what they deserve. No, it was just like, okay, this happened. I'll show you that I can stand up and I could look up for myself. I don't need you.
Good.
I didn't need you before, and I don't need you now. And you can take your belt and shove it up your ass.
I, lo-
That's it.
I love it. Hey, and here we are. And here we are. You're still rocking and rolling. What?
And first of all, when they offered me that title, I said I don't even want it. You know,
And that's another thing. You didn't destroy a title with some big legacy. It's been around for a couple years. I
well,
mean,
I
you
did.
deserved it, but
I told them. I said the international heavyweight championship means 10 times more than this stupid title. You know that
there's a lineage.
nobody defended it. Like, okay, Joe Hendry had it, or Jordan Grace, Tommy Dreamer. I don't want to disrespect those guys,
Great names.
but it's still a title that don't mean shit.
Yeah.
Nobody cares about that title. Nobody cares.
They had their own little show. You had to pay $6 to watch the title for a minute, you know, and I don't think many people were. So no, I agree with you 110%.
And then I told them I'll I got the international title from the guys who were running this territory before, and they gave me the right to use it and everything. I got all the papers and everything. I said I'm willing to give it to you. Like, just make it like a TNA international title. I give you the lineage. I'll give you the whole history, and we'll keep this title rolling forever. And 6 months after, they said, Carl, takes time to make a title like that. And once I smashed the whole digital title and
Mm-hmm.
scrap it off, they spin their wheels and they made one in 3 days.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking when you said, yeah. Isn't it
Carl,
crazy?
it takes time. It takes time. 3 days. You had a brand new digital shitty title.
Isn't it crazy how that can work, though? It can't happen, but by God, when it has to happen, it can happen in 3 days.
Yeah, yeah. So that's another thing that I feel like I felt, or I feel today, and I felt back then, that they think they're playing me. Like,
Right.
they never wrestled. Those guys never put a pair of boots.
Mm-hmm.
They think they know. They don't know shit.
You can't work a worker.
Come on.
Come on.
I could see it in the sky, like 10,000 miles away. I knew something was wrong with that title. Like, they said, well, yeah, we want to do it. We're waiting on it. It's coming. Be patient. And they kept showing it on TV. That's my thing, though. This title got more prestige now because they showed it for 6 months, and they showed it on every picture. showed it on every graphic. They showed it on every, and still, international and digital. Every time I defended it, so it's it's their mistake. It's their error. I mean, uh, I'm grateful that I'll be able to defend that with another promotion, and now just joined with Scott D'Amore, Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling.
Good.
So and Scott's working a lot with AEW, so we're gonna, he always has half of his roster is almost AEW, so
Right. Yeah.
that's gonna be cool. That's gonna be super cool.
And Maple Leaf's got great production. It looks like they're drawing. I mean, that first show looked amazing.
Well, Scott offered 10 millions to buy TNA,
Okay.
so I don't know how they could turn that down. I think that was a fair amount of money.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but now I think he's gonna build something great with Maple Leaf Wrestling, and like I said, we're doing a lot of co-promotional stuff with AEW, so that's gonna be very interesting.
I want to see PCO against Kenny Omega.
Yeah, because
It's
that
good.
that was that was one of the plan, uh, and just after All In, things were getting
Mm.
together. After All In, like things were getting into places. Got a few, discussion, and that was one of the matches they wanted to throw in. So that'd be great. That'd be one of my dream match.
Yeah, and then or you can flip the coin and you can say let's put you in there with Gunther and do it one more time. You know,
Yeah, yeah,
so many possibilities. I mean, there's still a legacy there that you have to play with that you made. It's your legacy, man.
yeah. That's cool. That's cool. So yeah, so future, I think future is bright, like in a way where there's good thing happening right now, good things happening right now, and certainly looking up for another sellout in Montreal. We'll see how it goes, but that'd be great.
Oh yeah, heck yeah. Well, I do. I appreciate you joining me, PCO. Before I let you go, any any advice to any other advice? Because you give them plenty to young up and coming wrestlers. If there's anything else you need to get off your chest, if you want to put out your socials, your merch, anything you want to put out there before we wrap this bad boy up, my platform is all yours, sir.
I just came back from Ireland at Over the Top Wrestling. Seen a lot of good talents over there. And I was teaming up with Scotty Tuati,
Nice.
and I was amazed how much time he would spend with the guys that we just worked with, like younger guys, and how many details and stuff he would give them.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd say, and I went out with Scotty. Why do you spend so much time? Because sometimes I feel like when I was younger, I felt like I didn't want really, not that I didn't want to learn from the other guys, but I felt we're not at the same plate. It's the same business, we're somewhere else in the business.
Okay.
It's like more like I'm putting my place in the young guy's shoes and saying, now the business is where it is now. It's not where it was when you were there. You
Yeah.
know what
Right.
I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So and then Scotty was smart about it. He said, you get that from, you see the kids when they're really sincere and they want to learn, and they're asking for an advice and they really mean it. It's not just an act or
Right.
pretend or things like that.
Mm-hmm.
because I thought he was spending quite some time to explain the business, and so I was, I'm more like the guy who kind of try to learn from the younger generation
Okay.
more than to oppose my my view on the business because I'm older or I've been there for a longer period of time. But I think the ability to tell a story or, hearing a crowd when it's time to, if you cheat on someone and you start losing your crowds because you've been choking the person for too long,
Mm-hmm.
if you're on the outside as a manager and it's a young manager and she keeps choking and choking and they go, hey, 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 and then after they go like, they don't react anymore and you're still choking.
Okay.
I mean, because you're losing it now. You're overdoing it,
Right. Mm-hmm.
But that will never change. I don't care if you're 20 years old or 45. Uh, those you have to have an ear for the crowd,
Right.
and then so you can teach that little details like that, or sometimes I would step down if I know that if this spot should come before this spot or this spot should become after this spot. Like when I know that it's gonna make a huge difference in the match,
Mm-hmm.
I'll step up. But other than that, I'm pretty laid back. I let everybody think that they know what they're doing.
There you go. Hey. And that's one thing about you. You've evolved with the business, and you saying you step back and you try to learn from the young guys. I mean, you have. I mean, it shows in your work. You've adapted. Your work's changed over the years. So, props to
Yeah,
you,
you
man.
have to. You have to. You have to. I think in most of for the guys that want to last, change is inevitable. Change will happen no matter what.
Right.
So you have to embrace change. Those who don't embrace change, they dinosaurs. They keep with their old mentality and they don't evolve.
Yep.
So you have to embrace change, but some of the principle is like life; they will never change.
There you go.
Being honest would always be a good principle.
Right.
Uh, Keeping your promise will always be a good principle. Being on time will always be a good principle. You can change a world, but those will never change. It's the same thing with some points in the business.
Tried and true. You know. Yep.
Yeah.
Guarantee it. I can't thank you enough, man. For real, you've been an inspiration. One of our ending lines on the podcast, I tell people, don't take shit from nobody, and I'd have to think I got that mentality from you. You've always stayed on your own terms, so
Yeah.
props to you. I'll ask you to hang on the line with me if you don't mind. Uh,
Okay.
to the listeners, this is why we do it, man. This is a whole different subject today, but this, like I said, this is my white whale. So that's why I tell you to go out there and live your dreams. Treat each other with kindness and respect, but again, don't take no shit from no one.
Yeah.
Today we announced the WrestleRoni video games coming out. We got big things going on this weekend. February 7th, Morgantown, West Virginia. Marcus Twist, No Ring Deathmatch, Soft Cop. Be there. PCO, you got any merch or anything you want to put out there before we go?
I got my store at PW
Pro Wrestling Tees?
Pro Wrestling Tees. Yeah.
We'll put the link in the description for you. And you can
Yeah.
find him on social media. He has like hundreds of thousands of followers. You'll find him.
Yeah, Instagram is probably my biggest one. PCO's not human. PCO's not human on X, Twitter, and my Facebook. I got two PCO Beer Car Wallet.
There you go. Heck yeah. This is what it's all about, man. Go out there, you find your white whale, you do your thing. Spooky Lou loves you. It's because of you that I got to this point. Thank you so much. We'll see you on the next one.